Our final panelist today, we have Catherine McCluskey, whole school director of learning support at St Andrews International School in Bangkok and North Anglia School. Relatively new to the international school sector, she moved to Thailand in 2022. And indeed, this was her first international senior leadership position. However, in that time, she has more than made her mark and presence felt. She led St Andrews to become the first international school to achieve the Inclusive School Award of IQM. And indeed, they entered the IQM family also as a centre of excellence for inclusion. I had the pleasure myself of assessing Catherine's school in March of this year. And whilst there, I had a chance to meet with her brilliant students, inspirational staff, some great characters, well recruited, and they want to work there for a reason. Very appreciative families. You know, they really wanted to bend my ear for the right reason as to why they were so fortunate to choose that school in Bangkok. And I also had the opportunity to befriend the school tortoises, Amber and Leo. I had never before met a school that had two tortoises on site. And I asked Catherine for regular updates as to how they're getting on. Since the assessment in March, Catherine and the team have collected the esteemed Nation Award as the International Provision of the Year for 2024. And Catherine herself, Catherine's picked up a lot of Irmais recently. She presented at the IQM UK and Ireland conference in Birmingham earlier this month. And most impactful of all, maybe for people listening here, it's not why schools do IQM, but it just adds a lot of validity to why we do it. Her own school, shortly after being visited by IQM, was recognised as being outstanding in all areas after a full EDT inspection in May. So to say that St Andrews is ever improving and a benchmark leading schools would be an understatement. Catherine, it's a pleasure to have you here today and to catch up with you again. I'm sorry I didn't see you in Birmingham, but I know the rest of the IQM team got to meet you. Yeah. Do you or anyone at St Andrews ever sit still or rest in your laurels?
No, I think is the answer. We just have a constant drive for improvement. You know, we're never content with what we've got. We always want to, what's the next thing? What's the next improvement that we can make? So simple answer, no. Yeah. Absolutely. We like to keep busy. But also I think because you hit the nail on the head, you know, we're all so passionate. Every single person that works at our school is there because of the children, because of the inclusivity, because of the sense of belonging. I mean, you know, today we had a conversation at SLT, you know, and I'm looking around the room and, you know, I've been there for 2 years. The next person up from me has been there 9 years, 12 years, 18 years, 22 years. You know, nobody leaves. And that is a testament to itself. It also is fantastic in that we can drive sustainable change because we've got the right people on the bus. You know, I keep saying that phrase, but it's so important to have the right team around you, inspirational people that, you know, I'm lucky to get up and go into work with every day, and fantastic children, fantastic staff, you know, across the board, you know, not just the teaching staff. You know, it was so nice to hear what Colette was saying, and also Berna, because that both of you, it just absolutely resonated with what our school is as well. And it's so lovely to hear that, you know, that sense of belonging, that every single stakeholder has a part to play in that, you know, and that we're not just content to sit on our laurels, as Kevin said. You know, there is so much more to do in other schools, in other regions, you know, and that's what IQM has really sort of given us, that supportive network and that sort of school improvement partner to be able to have the confidence to be able to go forward and start to have those difficult conversations with other people who maybe aren't quite there yet. And I say yet because they will be.
I don't think Amber and Leo would let you away with anything less. Those two tortoises, they are fast moving in their own way, and you've got some staff members that are longer serving than they are. But on that, Catherine, I've mentioned there, yours was the very first international school to be assessed by IQM. And Colette has brilliantly articulated her own school improvement journey. undertaken and maybe the process, the deep dive. Could you maybe fill us in a little bit on your experience of the 2-day assessment and what it was like to have the IQM team in and around the school and how different it maybe feels from a traditional inspection?
Yeah, I mean, from the onset, it was really important to us as a school to have the in-person inspection. I mean, we've all, as leaders or middle leaders, or everyone has had a part to play in creating the SEF or driving school improvement throughout the school year, the academic year, and inspections, etc. But for us, we felt that no matter what we put down on paper, it was never going to be a true reflection of the feeling of our school. When you walk in through the gates, that feeling that you get of just that sense of true inclusion at all levels. And so for us, it was really important that we were able to have Kevin and Dirk come out to see that, not just to see it, but to feel it and experience it. And that just absolutely was the driving point for us. So, we're so glad that we were able to arrange it. I know it was tricky with Dirk trying to get him out of get released from his day job and fly you guys out. But I mean, in terms of how the 2-day inspection itself went, it just meant that we were able to have a really coherent, clear, consistent time frame of meeting with every single stakeholder across the school. I don't think there was anyone that we missed off. I think we had a very busy 2 days. So would you say that was the truth, Kevin? We made sure that there was, parents had opportunity to have a forum. We had, opportunities for our school leaders to come in and have a conversation. We had the children doing a panel, talking about their experience in the school. And it's sort of exactly what Colette said, as the Director of Learning Support, I didn't have to go into those meetings. I had full trust in my staff, in the confidence in all the stakeholders in the school that they were going to be able to say the same mantra, the same ethos, that the St Andrews way, the great St Andrews community, which is such an integral part of our school. So that was a really important part for us, that you were able to experience that. And for us as well, then it was just, it was easier then to make that connection with you as well as our assessors, and to sort of answer those on the spot questions that you might have had that you just wouldn't have had the same experience if it had been done online. So it was just such a fantastic experience for us.
Mutual. I know myself and Dirk, we've raved about the school, and every time, maybe similar to what Sue White's experience was, every time we thought you had reached the peak, there was a new angle or a new story came in thereafter, and we were furiously scribbling, so how are we going to collate all this into a report? You challenged us and you set the benchmark very high for those to follow. But in terms of the process, do you think it actually helped you and your team prepare for your forthcoming EDT inspection?
Yes. I mean, last year for us was the year of the inspections. So to put it into context, we had 5 sort of sets of people to come in and assess us or to inspect us. So we had EDT, BSO, we had the Thai Ministry to come in. We had obviously IQM, and earlier in the year we had our IBDP 5-year inspection as well. So that you came in off the back of the IBDP, and that had highlighted our inclusive pathways, and our routes out of graduation for every single student. Every single student in St Andrews is able to walk away with a high school diploma. Every single person graduates. This year we had our Embracing Differences cohort, which is our high needs department in the high school. We had three of our year 13s who got up on that stage and walked across it with everyone else, and that was such a fantastic point for us. So you obviously came in off the back of a really positive experience that we'd had with the IBDP, getting tongue twisted, and the experience that we had with you was nothing short of exceptional. I'm not going to lie, there were tears in the in SLT when you were giving us our feedback. I think for us it was very much a consolidated 22 years of our visionary head teacher refusing to bow down to comments from other schools, and saying that, oh, you'll never do well with an inclusive school. Why would you want to have children that have certain types of needs in your school? Is that not going to damage your academic progress? And for us, 22 years on, you know, you coming in and saying, yes, you are doing an exceptional job was just the absolute icing on the cake for us walking into our EDT and BSO inspections. I think Berna, did you pick that up? So it was a very different experience when the EDT and BSO did come in. But that was okay, because we had this fantastic report that had solidified everything that we knew about our school, that we, you know, we lived and breathed the ethos of our school. You know, that's it. It is the Great the Great St Andrews community. It is St Andrews. You know, that is what we are. And so when we were challenged in certain areas where it was maybe, you know, they couldn't quite or weren't quite there yet with understanding why we did things in a certain way, or why we were, you know, presenting our data in a certain way, we did have that confidence as an SLT, as a middle leadership, as, you know, teachers in the classroom to say, well, actually, no, this is why we do it. And in the end, it was, you know, it was fantastic feedback that we got from EDT and BSO. They did get us, and they did quote a lot of the report that from the IQM in, you know, in the feedback, that, you know, they'd obviously read through that, they could see that. And so it was just really useful, such a useful document and a useful process to have gone through that, to bring our staff together, to bring our community together, that, you know, this is who we are, and to be able to come through that EDT and BSO very different experience, but still come out with outstanding in every area at the end, because we had that confidence to say, no, this is what we are, this is what we're about, and let us show you, let us, you know, show you what we are. So it was just such a useful process to have gone through.
Brilliant, Catherine. Thank you very much. And it was myself and Dirk often still message each other. We were the Bangkok duo that went there, and it was an experience for us as well to visit such an incredible school. Just lastly, I'm just checking if Dexter Bouwer has arrived in Bangkok and how he's settling in.
He's here. Oh. And Buddy is here also today. Oh. They had a fantastic first day at school yesterday with our purple class, which is our year 7 to 8 Embracing Differences group. I think they experienced a speech and language class, art therapy class. They were doing some sensory play. So as I said, I've shared with you their little video of how they got on. They're having a wonderful time.